Hello all, welcome to TechTrapture. So in this video, we are going to discuss about very crucial topic in Google Cloud, that is about BigQuery pricing. So you might heard about a lot of issues due to the unexpected billing in the BigQuery. So I heard from a lot of people that BigQuery pricing is complex, it's difficult to understand, and I get a lot of requests from people to consult me on the BigQuery pricing or help them to reduce the BigQuery cost. So I thought, okay, let's create one video where I could explain the BigQuery pricing, because once we understood the BigQuery pricing, we can take the preventive measure to avoid unnecessary cost instead of the corrective measures. Okay, so that's why I started working on this BigQuery pricing. I detailed and gathered some information which I could showcase as a demo, and then I also created one detailed blog on the BigQuery pricing. I will just add the link in the description of this video. So mostly, yeah, this video will be for them, maybe for the architect or data engineer who want to understand the BigQuery pricing, and this would be mostly a theoretical video, conceptual video. So there won't be much demo part or practical part here, because this topic is related to understanding how BigQuery pricing work. As and when I will show you demo, as and when I will show you artifact, like how BigQuery pricing will work, but mostly I'll just walk you through the BigQuery pricing, different components, how it costs, how BigQuery or Google Cloud charges, for which operation it charges. So all things I'll just navigate you through, and I will try to explain you in a more better way. Okay, so let's start and first see how BigQuery pricing works. So BigQuery actually charges for a couple of things, actually 4 to 5 things actually. So what are these things, or what are these items? So first and more major is BigQuery cost us for the storage. Okay, so where our store the data, how much data we are storing on BigQuery. So definitely there is a free tier for storage as well. So 10 GB per month is free for BigQuery storage pricing. Then the compute pricing means how much queries we are executing, how much data we are analyzing. So it's not about the number of queries, it's about how much data you are processing. Let's say suppose you are having one table with 1 TB of data and you are executing one query, so it's processing kind of, if you are executing one query with select star from the table, it's processing whole 1 TB of data. Okay, so you executed one query only, but you will be charged for whole 1 TB of data. Okay, and let's say suppose on other hand you are has just having small table that is kind of megabytes, okay, only MBs of data, there you even execute like 20 queries also, it will not gonna cost you that much. Apart from, instead of that, you will get charged for only single query on the very huge table. So you have to take care how you are writing your queries, because select star always cost more than using select individual column names. Okay, because BigQuery is a columnar database. So second is a compute pricing. We will go detailed in each of these pricing layers, so do not worry, I'll just go in detail. Currently I'm just showing the topics like on which operation or which items BigQuery charges. So for compute, so it is 1 TB per month is free, so you can query 1 TB of data per month, which is free. Okay, so that is for on demand pricing. So in compute also there are some pricing models, in storage also there are some pricing models, so we'll see that in detail. Then it also charges for the streaming insert. Okay, then it charges for the BI engine memory, that is one of the feature we are having for the query acceleration. Then it also charges for the data transfer and exports. Okay, so then now we'll talk about the storage pricing. Okay, so just before just jumping into the storage pricing, okay, so let me just go navigate you also to the BigQuery pricing page. Okay, so just go to the BigQuery pricing page as well. So this is BigQuery pricing page. Here you will see the detailed pricing. Now you can see here also how BigQuery is charging us. You can see BigQuery pricing, it's for the compute, mainly it is for compute and storage. And you can see BigQuery also charge for the operation like BigQuery Omni, BigQuery ML, BI engine, read, write, all these things. Okay, and there are free usage tier which I mentioned already. For the compute you can query 1 TB of data for a free per month, and you can store up to 10 GB of data free per month. Okay, so we'll just take a reference from this page as well as a source of truth, because this is uh, official Google Cloud documentation, and whatever the pricing here would be the exact pricing in terms of numbers. Okay, so let me just go back to our slide, and as and when required we'll just come back to this page to have the reference and just to quickly check how you are utilizing the BigQuery cost. So let's go back to our slide. Now coming to our slide, let's talk about storage pricing, how BigQuery charges for the storage. So BigQuery offer two primary storage option. Okay, so how we are storing the data. First is active storage. Let's say we are having some table, some data which is frequently used. Okay, so that is considered as the active storage. So how frequently? So you can check, it is 90 consecutive days. So if your data is not used for 90 days, it's considered as a long-term storage. Okay, and the active storage, it means your data is keep access throughout the 90 days. Okay, and BigQuery automatically transition it to long-term storage if our data is not accessed for the 90 days. And definitely there would be a different pricing for the active storage and long-term storage. So just check what is the difference in pricing for the active and long-term storage. I'll just go back to a BigQuery pricing page. Now here you can check the active storage, long-term storage. So you can clearly see the statement, the pricing storage of the table automatically drops by 50% if it is not accessed for the 90 days. So it will automatically go into the long-term storage mode and your pricing will drop. So let's check, this is the active, the pricing is 0.02 GB per month, and for the long term the pricing is 0.01, so which is completely half. So if you are not accessing your data, the pricing will be lower, and if you are very frequently access data, then your pricing will be more. Okay, I mean for active data pricing will be more, and for long-term storage data which is not accessed for 90 days, pricing will be automatically lower. So this is for the active and long-term storage. But here you can see logical storage, then physical storage. What is this logical storage and physical storage? Okay, so okay, let's check that also, what is logical storage and what is physical storage. So let me just go back to our slide. So for storage also, this is kind of the storage option, but for the billing also BigQuery offers two storage billing models. Okay, so you can see here BigQuery offers two billing models. One is for logical, one is for physical. Physical means data is compressed and then stored on the disk, so that is kind of physical storage. Logical is your total size of the data, and you can choose the billing model if you want logical or physical, but you should first understand which will give you the more benefit, logical or physical. Okay, and each of the table you will see what is the logical size of your data when it is stored, and what is the physical size of your data when it is compressed and storage. Okay, so I will show you that. But you can see for logical storage billing, data is built based on the logical size of data. It include indexes, metadata, and additional overhead. It reflects uncompressed size of your data. Okay, it's logically represented in BigQuery, so it is kind of uncompressed data. Physical storage billing model, so data is built based on the physical data which is compressed and then stored on the disk after compression. This model may result lower storage cost, but BigQuery user compression techniques to reduce physical size of the data. Now definitely, let's say suppose your logical size is 1 GB, your physical size might be around 500 MB or 400 MB, because the data is compressed and then storage. Then you might think, okay, then why we need logical storage model? If it is the less data, then we will go with the physical storage model, right? But even the cloud providers are smart. Okay, so they kept more pricing for the physical and less pricing for the logical. I will just show you one example. I have one table where I will try to show you both physical storage and logical storage, and then try to show you the cost difference. We'll just calculate the cost, and then we'll see how much cost we have to pay for that table. Okay, so let me just go to my Google Cloud Console now. So I am having this is my BigQuery project, and let's say I will check one huge table. So I am having one this tag table. Okay, this, if I go for this tag table, so I will show you the details, what is the logical size of the table, because this table, if I show you, it is having more than 10 million records. Okay, so I will show you. So you can see the logical size is 18 GB, but physical size is only 6 GB, so it is more lower than your kind of the logical data. Okay, then we'll just try to calculate the cost which is best suited for us, logical or physical. So I'll just go to the BigQuery pricing and check the logical price and physical price. Okay, so I will check the active data. Okay, so active logical price 0.02 per GB per month. So I'll just open my calculator, okay, and just try to calculate. So it is per, okay, so 0.02 per GB, and we are having 18 GB of data. So let's take the exact value, 18.75, right? So go back to BigQuery pricing, 18.75 into 0.02. So how much is the value? 0.375 dollar for 80 GB of data. Okay, I'll just note it down somewhere. I'll just note down here. For physical, oh sorry, for logical, we are paying this much dollar. Okay, let's check for physical now, because for physical our data size, for physical this is the price 0.04 and data size is lower, so physical size is 6.12 only. So just clear it and check for 6.12 into what is the physical price. Active physical is 0.04, 0.04 as if $0.248 is physical. Okay, so now you could understand, even though the size or price is more for the physical, we could save some cost here, right? So that's how we have to calculate case by case, based on your data. Okay, so sometimes if the compressed data is not making more difference, then you can go with the logical as well. Okay, so it's depend upon the type of data you are having, how complex data you are having. Okay, but how we can check what is the storage billing model is used for your dataset? So this storage billing model is on the dataset level. If you go here and just click on the edit details and go in advanced option, so you will see storage billing model unspecified. So whenever it's unspecified, by default it use the logical billing. You can change it to logical or physical. So by default it's logical, you can change it to physical. Okay, but I think it takes some time. Whenever you change it to physical, around 24 hours of time it take to reflect your updated billing model. Okay, so that's one thing you have to remember, that you can choose your billing model at the dataset level, and physical is kind of lesser size but the cost is more, so you have to choose accordingly which billing model you want, logical storage billing model or a physical storage billing model. Hope this is clear. What is active logical, long-term logical, active physical and long-term physical, for both 10 GB free for each month. Now this is clear. Let's go back to our slide and check for the next pricing component. Okay, so we are done with the storage pricing. Let's check what is next, compute pricing. So compute pricing is how much data we are querying. BigQuery is a columnar database, because yeah, based on that it will cost us based on how much column we are querying instead of how much record we are querying. So I will just show you one example. Okay, let me just go back to Google Cloud Console. I will take example of the same table, okay, the stack table. So let's go back, and if I try to query select star from this table, remove the limit 1000. So this table is having 10 million records. Okay, so whenever I am using select star, it is costing me for 18.75 GB. It means for whole table it is costing me as a compute cost. Let's say I will just query one record, limit 1, so it will query only one record. Still I will be charged for 18.75 GB, because a BigQuery doesn't look how much records you are fetching, it will look for how much columns you are fetching. Okay, so let's say now I will, instead of the select star, I will fetch whole table data 10 million record, but instead of all column I will just only fetch few columns. Let's say what columns. Okay, I will just fetch two columns, ID and title. Okay, so instead of select star I will just write another query, and here I will just use select ID comma title. So here I am fetching 10 million record but only ID and title, so I will be only billed for 600 MB. And here let's say I am just fetching limit 1 records, so which should cost me more, 1 record or 10 million records? 1 record is costing me more because we are using select star and it will cost us 18.75 GB, but here we are fetching 10 million record but it is costing us very low, that is for 684 MB. So you understood most of the mistakes happening in the writing BigQuery query, that we should avoid using select star as it is costing us more. We should not look for how much records it is fetching, we should look for how much column it is fetching. So this is how BigQuery columnar database works and how that query pricing is work for a BigQuery. Okay, hope you understood that. Now let's go back to the compute pricing and see how this pricing will work. Okay, so let me just go back to the compute pricing. Okay, now let's check. In compute also we are having a two pricing model. One is on demand, it means just pay for whatever you are using. So under this model users are charged based on amount of data processed by each query. We just saw in current query, this is measured in TB, so charge is cost is per TB. So in our latest query we saw we were fetching 18 GB data for single query, so it will be per month it is calculated how much terabyte of data you fetched and your costing will be based on that terabyte per unit. Okay, so this approach is suitable for variable workload where query frequency and data volume can fluctuate. So this is easy to calculate. However your query is running, you will be charged on your query only. So just like on demand, pay for whatever you are using. So key point consider cost calculation, charges are applied per TB of data processed. No upfront cost, you don't need to pay additional thing, just pay whatever you are using. Automatic scaling, so resources are scaled. What resources? So each query execution happen on the compute at the back end, so more you use, more automatic scaling will happen at the back end. Consideration cost predictability, costs can vary based on your query complexity. When we want to optimize cost, it recommend to structure our queries as we discussed. Instead of select star, use the columns. While designing the table, use partitioning and clustering. If you are not aware about what is partitioning and clustering, I created a comprehensive guide what is partitioning and clustering with a detailed demo how we can create partition table and how we can create cluster table and how it reduce the cost, how it improve the query performance. I have explained everything in that demo. So this is for on-demand pricing. We have another pricing model here is flat rate pricing. So here these models allow users to purchase dedicated query processing capacity. So I will give you simple example. Let's say you are going for a picnic and you are booking a hotel. So you will pay only for the days you will be living there. So let's say you are living there for 4 days, you will pay only for 4 days. But let's say now you know that you are gonna stay there for 1 month, so you can book hotel for whole 1 month and you can pay discounted price, even though you are living in like 27 days, 28 days, but you already paid for 30 days, so that 3 days amount or 3 days money is gone. Okay, but you know that you are gonna stay there minimum for 30 days, maximum can be 35, 36, you can afford that. But if you are staying, if you know go stay there for minimum 30 days, you can book hotel for 30 days at a discounted price. So this on demand pricing is sometimes, look, we don't know how many days you are gonna stay, so you can go with the on demand pricing. Flat rate pricing is sometimes there is a huge workload, there is huge query gonna run in your organization. So you can see here this model allow user to purchase dedicated query processing capacity known as a slot. So at flat monthly rate, it's ideal for organization with consistent high query workload seeking predictable cost. So if it is predictable that okay, I gonna use this amount of terabytes of querying, then it's better you can just use, or you can just use the flat rate pricing. Key point: so users received specific number of slot, ensure dedicated resource for query execution, predictable billing. So it's not like something unexpected come up because of the, because you already purchased the flat rate pricing, so you are gonna pay only for that one whichever you purchased. Okay, and the reserved option, you are reserving the slot sometimes, so you will have the capacity automatically, and definitely auto scaling will be there. Consideration like upfront commitment, so you have to commit for a certain level of capacity. As I mentioned, I am committing for 30 days of my stay in hotel, that's why they provided me the discounted price. Similar way here also happening, if you are going with the flat rate pricing, you are paying for the fixed capacity. Okay, if you use less, you already paid for the upfront cost. Okay, so that is how your compute pricing for the on demand and flat rate pricing work. You want to check the difference, how much it is for on demand, how much for flat rate, or you can check on the pricing page. So let me just go to the pricing page. So here we are on the on demand. So you can see for on demand you are paying 6.25 TB, 6.25 per TB. 1 TB per month is free, so you are paying 6.25 per TB per month for this one, and it might vary based on the regions minor. Okay, for this region, which is AWS region, okay, I don't want to check in AWS, let's say this one, so there might be slight differences. Yeah, Europe is more, US is less, so based on your region your pricing will vary. Okay, so while calculating cost, let's make sure you are using the correct region. Okay, and so this is for the on demand. Let's check for the flat rate. So let me check here, flat rate pricing. So flat rate pricing is based on the slot. So if you are using the slot, you are paying based on the slot is like computational unit you need for executing query. You can calculate the slot based on how much slots you are using. You can calculate from the information schema metadata. You can check how much slot you used for previous month. Based on that you can calculate your query slot. Okay, so then you can decide you want to go with the flat rate pricing or what we can say on demand pricing. Also, like if you already associated with the Google Cloud, you are already paying very high to the Google Cloud, you are partnered with Google Cloud, then Google also help you to understand which billing model is best suited for you. Okay, so you can take their consultation as well in terms of choosing your billing model. So hope this is clear on the compute size, and then we are having some other pricing. So I'll just walk you through here. We considered storage, we checked capacity, then there are some data transfer. So whenever you are transferring the data, okay, so for each data transfer there is associated cost. For BigQuery Omni, you can see the pricing. If BigQuery Omni is used to connect your I mean you can query the data from AWS, also you can query data from Azure, so that is how you can use the BigQuery Omni. So I already created a BigQuery Omni video, how we can query the data from Amazon S3 into BigQuery. So you can see the pricing here, this is for per TB. Okay, then for data ingestion there is a separate pricing. If you are loading batch loading, so it is free using the slot pool. If it is streaming insert, then there is certain pricing, it is 0.013 for per 200 MB. Okay, and for data extraction, if you are doing the batch export, it is free. If you are using the streaming reads, then it is kind of $1.43 per TB. Okay, so then data replication pricing is also there. So if it is the cross region replication or cross region turbo replication, so if you can see here, if you are copy operation in the same location US East 1 to US East 1, it is free. Replicate one time from BigQuery to US multi-region, from US multi-region to US central one, it is also free because it is part of the US. Replicate from BigQuery US multi-region to other one, you can see the following table. So pricing is there. It is like if it is cross region, it is more costly. So you can see if you are moving data from US region to US, what is the pricing, US to North America, what is the pricing, then based on like if it is source location and destination, you can see this table. So this is your replication charges. Okay, and for the turbo it is kind of the faster one. Here also you can check the pricing. Then what else we are having? BigQuery ML. So BigQuery ML pricing is also here based on the model, so you can see this is very high if you are using the regression model. So model creation, so for it is like $400 per TB. Okay, so this is very high cost, so make sure you gone through the pricing before you start working as a BigQuery ML operations. Then here what are the free operations? It is there batch load, this is free copy data, free export data, free data delete operation, free metadata operations are free. Then storage for 10 GB per month is free. Queries 1 TB of data you can query for a free, so this is kind of free operation. So I think we covered most of the things. Okay, let me just go back to the slide and let's see if anything is remaining. I think yeah, we covered everything. So that's how the BigQuery pricing works. If you still having any confusion, just let me know, I'll just try to help you out. But yeah, understanding BigQuery pricing before start using BigQuery, before start designing the data warehouse on BigQuery is very crucial and is very important. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. This video got a bit longer, a bit theoretical, but yeah, you are here till the end, it means you definitely learn something. And thank you for watching this video, and just keep watching other videos as well. So we'll see you in one more next amazing video.